I'm the lead teacher for the 4-year-old classroom at the Y Preschool here in Marshalltown. I'm here to let you know that we have openings in both the 3-year-old and 4-year-old classrooms. Please come and set up a tour to meet the teachers, meet the staff, and see the classrooms. You can call 641-752-8658 and ask for our director, Ashley Nelson, and she would be happy to set up a tour with you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Pat Thompson. I'm public health nurse for Marshall County, and this is not the first time I've been on this MUC TV show at your service. I always appreciate being here because I get to share information about public health activities, and as we all know, those activities have been surrounded by that coronavirus, the COVID-19. And I'm going to say it's almost takes the life out of you. You know what I mean? Because it's so constant. But this is our opportunity to get past that and know that things will be getting better as more people are vaccinated. So Marshall County is still vaccinating. We will be for a long time. We have limited number of doses of vaccine that come in, just like everybody else in Iowa, and actually across the United States, because we just don't have enough. Marshall County does have the ability to give vaccine. We have the way to do it. We know how to do it. We're good at it, but we don't have the vaccine to give. And someday we will, though. So right now we finished up healthcare workers for the most part. You know, there's always new hires and stragglers that I get presented with, and I'll help you get your vaccine if you're a healthcare worker. I need to know about it, though. And then we've been working on actually the fire, law, Sheriff's Department, communications, and because we need those people to be able to go to work, and our highway patrol, don't we need them, especially in all this bitter cold weather and snow and stuff. And now we're going to be working very, very hard getting the school system, the community school districts in Marshall County vaccinated. So that's going to be, you know, doing our educators, and that will be a nice thing to have done. They've needed it for a long time. We're not going to say they didn't. But now we have that chance to do it, and we'll be busy getting our educators vaccinated. So it's all good. It's all good. Then after that, more groups and more groups like child care workers and people that cannot actually social distance is where we're at right now because of limited vaccine. And wearing a mask can be difficult for some people, and so that's why we're getting this done in this order. Someday there will be enough vaccine for everybody, and when it's your turn and you're called to get your vaccine or asked if you want it, please take it, because that's really important to help get this coronavirus under control. And remember, right now the vaccine we have is 2-dose, and you do need to get both doses in order to be protected. Okay, someday we'll have a single dose. I know that. That's my happy day when we just have to get one shot. And someday we'll be vaccinating children like I said, at some point. And I'm hoping that that's the vaccine we have at that time, because it's going to be hard to give 2 shots to little kiddos. But we'll see what's going on at the time, and we'll do our very best to help protect little kiddos who can get sick and maybe not display the same symptoms or as harsh as symptoms. Not that little kids can't really get sick, and they can, but they may do a little bit better. But if they don't get coronavirus, then they can't give it to somebody else. That's what this is all about, all right? Not getting the virus. So if you haven't had the virus, yay, enjoy that. Still do all the things you need to do to protect yourself from getting it. Those the mitigation, it's actually decreasing your risk of getting the virus. And so I want to say we start out with cover your cough, stay home if you're sick, wash your hands, wear a mask, social distance, go out just for essential services. Having parties is not a good idea. It's not a good idea. And I wanted to share too, I don't want to forget to say this to you, is that after you have the vaccine, after you get the shots and you completed the series of 2, you still have to wear your mask. You still need to cover your cough and stay home if you're sick, because nothing's 100%. And there are so many people that haven't had the vaccine that we still need to protect ourselves. And by not getting the vaccine, that means we can't give it to somebody else. And that's what I want you to really remember, okay? I've had some people say, well, I'm not that concerned about it, but we really don't know the long-term consequences of having the coronavirus, and you're just way better off if you don't have it. And you don't have to think about it, right? So when we're done with all this, quote, when we're done, I'm not sure when that will be. I know that we'll be looking at boosters and all kinds of things, because it's going to be like working with the seasonal flu, where it mutates and it keeps changing, and so it's studied by some very, very smart people at the top. That's what I always say during flu season, you know, that know what's the best one, and they make their very best scientific guess, you know, if this is happening here and this is what it looks like there. They make their best, they probably don't like the word guess, but you know, that's really determine what they think will be the best at that time. Sometimes they're really right and sometimes not so much. But anyway, that's going to be happening, and I believe we will be getting the coronavirus vaccine for a long, long time. And it may be in our seasonal flu vaccine at some point, which will make it very easy if we can give it all and once and done. That's how I like to think of it. Give one shot for seasonal flu, and the coronavirus is part of that. That'll be once and done. And I know I've said this before, but our H1N1 virus that we had in 2009 is still part of your seasonal flu vaccine. So it would not surprise me that we could maybe work that in. We'll find out, we'll learn. Make sure to always use credible sources, listen to the science. I'm a nurse, and science is important to me, and it's, you know, it's not made up, it's not, it's as factual as you can get it. Science is always learning more, studying more, trying to figure out bigger and better, and how can we do this, you know, how can we make this all work. So science is the best way to go as we consider how we're going to act and take vaccine during this pandemic that we're in. I can't wait till the day when we don't have to use the word pandemic, current pandemic. I remember actually being at my little office clear in March. It must have been March, or maybe it was before March, probably February. It's just such a blur. And I remember the word pandemic was said, and I thought, oh my gosh, because I hadn't heard it yet, you know, because it came out in a some kind of an email thing, and so the declaration had been made, or however they put that out, and thinking I had to go look it up just to see what, I knew what it was, but I looked up the definition, and that's what we need to do too, is like pay attention and get our best science of what this really means. So we're all in it together, and we're all going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. As bleak as it seems, we're on the other side. We've into the 2021. We've left 2020 behind, with many things learned, but also many challenges ahead of us. So remember not to panic in a pandemic. How's that? Because you will get vaccine. People want it now, and if I had it, I'd give it to you, believe me. I tell people if I could be up all night, give me a vaccine, I'd run around all over town just giving everybody a shot just to get it started. But I don't have that yet, but we will. And someday it'll be more easily available because we'll have more vaccine. I get many calls, well, where can we get it at? And it's not up for, it's right now we have so little, in the end, we have so little that we have to give it to certain groups, certain tiers of people. And so that can be kind of irritating and maddening and all that type of stuff. But just know your turn will come, and when it comes, get your vaccine. I tell people now, make sure you have a phone number that you answer. So if you do get a call for an appointment, because right now we're vaccinating in age groups. And so let's start with the oldest person, you know, by birth date, and then, you work down. And so you're offered a vaccine at that time, please take it. And so our healthcare providers are working really hard to get as many people vaccinated as they can in a short amount of time. So when they call your number, be sure to answer the phone and do what they ask you to do if you want the vaccine. It's much appreciated. So I want to say a big thank you to ones that have already received it. Big thank you to the ones that are looking forward to it, and just know that we need to hang together until we have it available. I did complete my second dose yesterday, and I'm doing pretty good. The first one was, you know, a little arm thing, and this one too is just a little arm pain thing. It doesn't keep me awake. In fact, sitting here, I don't even know I had it. You know, so it's not keeping me, changing my life. But if I move my arm, I can tell. You know, so don't be afraid of it. You'll hear war stories, right, of people that have had bad experiences, and those are all important to know and to pay attention to. But not everybody does, so just understand that too. So, so there's no vaccine list, okay? Public Health does not have a list, but we are taking care of certain groups at this time because of low vaccine availability. Craig is asking about the Microsoft program that they're talking about, and that's just been the last couple of days, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't, I think I've been answering the phone. So I haven't heard much about it, and we'll see what that does, how that how that benefits us, and how we can use that as a tool to getting vaccine out to people, because we want to. I know I've said this before. Every time I say I know I've said this before, but this vaccine is not something that is treated. It has to be treated gingerly. It has to be. It's kind of one that has to be treated well in order to not have it be damaged. Can I say it that way? Damaged, lost, wasted. So, you know, we don't shake the bottle. We don't shake the bottle. You have to be very careful what you're doing with it. And we know that once we enter that bottle to drop our first dose, we have to use that vaccine bottle or vial up in 6 hours. And that's not a very long time. So they don't just, if I walked up someplace and said, give me the vaccine, they wouldn't do it unless they had 9 other people behind me to give it to. Right? So that's what you need to understand. It's not something that you can just walk into a pharmacy, and you can't do that right now anyway, but walk into a pharmacy and just get one now, because it has to be taken care of very gingerly. We have to be careful with it. And luckily, we have all these wonderful healthcare providers, and in Marshall County, our nurses, our doctors, our healthcare providers' offices know how to handle it. They've been educated, and they do a very good job of it, and keep it at the right temperatures that you need, and do good work to help take care of you, to help keep this vaccine safe. I am unaware of any vaccine that's been wasted, and that's the goal. We want to make sure that there is no vaccine wasted, that it goes to people that want it. So hang in there with us as we keep plugging away at this and looking for brighter days. You know, March 20th is the first day of spring, and something about March saying the first day of spring doesn't really register in my head. I want to see, you know, there will be changes happening in March, but I want flowers and more April. But anyway, it starts March 20th. That's a little over a month away, and hey, we'll be into spring and looking on to bigger and better things. So, you know, with all our thoughts on coronavirus, Craig asked, what about the flu? Well, you know, I think wearing our masks and staying away from each other has really helped with flu season. And there's, you know, and if someone, you actually determine the flu activity by running tests, but because of less people being tested for seasonal flu because they're, you know, not as sick or not getting it, or it's still out there. Flu is here, but I think we're not passing it around. That we're having a mild season, and that can actually be a concern for the next season, because when you have a mild one, you tend to have a harsher one the next year. And what that means you have to do is get your flu shot, the seasonal flu shot, for sure next year to help protect yourself, and continue these practices that we have with the mask and the social distancing, because we won't be done. It won't be the same for a while. Someday it will be. Someday we will be. But right now it's just going to take lots of people being vaccinated, and lots of people staying home when they're sick, and lots of people wearing a mask, even when you don't want to. And I understand that. I understand that totally. So we also have to avoid those large gatherings, even though there's been restrictions have been lifted. We still need to be considerate of why we had those restrictions and what that would mean if they're relaxed completely without us paying attention to what we need to do. Relaxing restrictions doesn't mean that everything's safe or risk-free, and that's how you have to think about it. Okay, so continue your same practices, and And I know you're going, yeah, cover your cough, stay home if you're sick. Wash your hands.
Masks are still mandated.
Yeah, yes, masks are still mandated in Marshalltown, and that will help protect you even if you don't want to. That will help protect you. I know it. It's kept me from getting the coronavirus. And I'm not trusting after I've had 2 shots. Believe me, I'm wearing my mask and doing all the things I've been doing because it's just important. Because, you know, we actually are needed people. All of us are needed. We take care of people, we're around people, we have our jobs, we have our children and our families that we take care of, and I can't afford to be sick, and neither can you. So be sure to use science and do all those things we ask you to do in public health that are so simple but so hard and so important, okay? Yeah, if you're tired of wearing a mask, then stay home, actually, okay? Because it's really, you know, we know the 6 feet does keep you from getting being a contact, right? So, you know, if you've ever gone through that, you realize that if you're a contact of someone who has coronavirus, you know, there's that the isolation that we ask you to do, and that's important to do. And if you're wearing, both of you are wearing a mask, you don't have, you're not a contact, and that's a nice get out of jail free type of thing. I actually had I was offered an invitation for Sunday to get together, and I just don't believe I can still. There's some choices I have to make personally and love the people, but there's just choices that I make right now, and that will end, and that will get better.
And you have to be a good example.
And I have to be a good example, like Craig says. Yes, I don't want my picture in the paper in front of a big crowd, but anyway, you take care, find your joy. That's so important, and we've been talking about that since the beginning. Find your joy, find your peace. You can still put a puzzle together. You can't get outside. Maybe that's the thing to do. Bring those old puzzles out that you started with, or get some new ones. And
under a sun lamp.
Under a sun lamp, yeah, like Craig says, under a sun lamp. Oh, but sun exposure is not good, I have to say that. So a nice light in your house, and actually get out some of those games, because those outdoor activities will be starting sooner than we think, actually. So, and actually some of our projects will include recovery from the derecho. I know that's going to be happening at my house because there's some damage that has to wait till this next spring and summer. So anyway, until next time, bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Shannon Espenscheid. I am the fair manager for the Central Iowa Fair Association. You know, we are mainly an outdoor venue, and so again, we'll comply with any regulations put out by the governor in our city. So, but we are planning events for this summer, following the concerts that we had talked about earlier. We have some livestock sales coming up, some livestock shows, gun show, wedding receptions. So we are open here at the fairgrounds. We're planning to have the fair July 14th through the 17th. And be open for that. We've been booking entertainment and things for the kids to do. So we are moving forward with it. Of course, you know, we encourage everyone to wear your mask, social distance, comply with whatever the regulations are out there. We'll do our best as well for sanitary purposes and cleaning of the grounds inside and around the grounds area and where people are gathering. But, you know, we just want to encourage people to come out this summer to enjoy our fairgrounds, whether it be, you know, a cattle show or a craft fair or one of the concerts. We're just a great venue, and because we're outside and on so many acres, I think we can safely offer these options for people of Marshalltown and Marshall County and around the state. Every Wednesday night, registration's at 6:30. We have a cornhole bags league in the activity building, and you're welcome to drop in. You don't have to bring your own bags. The boards are here. It's become a really popular you know, thing for people to do, kind of like darts or pool used to be. Again, we have beverages available on Wednesday nights. So yeah, come on out every Wednesday night. pretty much all the time. And then there's also tournaments and things like that. So go onto our website, centraliowafairgrounds.net. There is a calendar of events that lists everything that we have going on here at the fairgrounds. So make sure to check that out. And also, if you are interested in hosting or you're getting married or have an anniversary, we do have buildings available for rental. So the prices are on the website for the rental as well. One of our buildings, the activity building, does have heat, and so does the pavilion. The other buildings are more seasonal, obviously. So I would like to invite you all out this weekend, February 13th, to our live concert celebration in the activity building. There'll be 3 bands playing. The first band will be Exit 185, more of an acoustical type play this time, as some of the band members are on vacation or gone. And then a new band, Winko and Bam, will be playing. Following them will be, of course, Grand Marshall. And so doors open at 6 o'clock. Band starts at 7. It'll probably go till midnight or so. There will be beverages available and some limited food options. There is a $5 cover to get in the door. But for a whole night of live music, I think will be great. And so, yeah, come on out this February 13th to the Central Iowa Fairgrounds Activity Building and enjoy some great music. So we will follow the guidelines set out by the governor of Iowa and what our mayor has said. So masks will be required. You can bring your own chair if you want to. We do have chairs available, and we will encourage social distancing, as far as coming with your group of family, that sort of thing. You'll police that yourself. So come on out if you're comfortable and check it out and enjoy the evening. Day before Valentine's Day, what a great date night. Website again, centraliowafairgrounds.net. And check that out. Like I said, the calendar of events that are there, information on rental is there, information on the fair as well. So check that out.
We're different than other cities our size. We have more youth involved in things, serving on boards, on the city council, on the school board, at the United Way board, and things like that than any other city, I think. And I think it's because of that Give a Damn group that there was a focus group that Vision Marshalltown did. So they had a bunch of under 45 people come in and talk to each other, and what would you like? And that glued them together a little bit. So they started having informal meetings every once in a while, and that sparked people stepping up. The Iowa Valley Leadership class is a good feeder for that too. But we've got that going, and I know that other cities would love to have something like that. Most of our county seat towns are looking at Rotary clubs that have an average age of 60 or 70, and the Kiwanis clubs are having trouble recruiting. But this Rotary here has young people in it, and it's got a verve going. And the other thing that I'm proud of is that just about everybody in a leadership position in this town, whether it's the school superintendent or the college provost or the commandant or the plant managers at JBS Emerson, Mechdyne, everybody gets along well. Mm-hmm. And we have a collaboration thing going on like I think nobody's business. So, and even the people that like to complain, when I put something on my mayor webpage, anything negative, anything positive, there's always somebody that wants to go negative. I talked about the really nice phone call I got from President Biden, and he was genuinely concerned. How are you doing after the derecho? And so some idiot has to post, oh yeah, but you should have talked to him about the potholes. Well, you know what? Actually, we do a good job on potholes. We have people that come to town and say, you guys are doing better on the potholes and surfaces and the snow removal than we are back home. And we also have good plans to fix up the streets and roadways. And so if people only knew, but I'm convinced 25%, 15% of the people out there just want to complain and will complain anyway. I just ignore them when they do it on my Facebook page.
Hi, I'm Michelle Roseborough Halverson with the Historical Society of Marshall County. Long time no see, everybody. Well, even though we have been closed to the public and continue to be until further notice. I miss you all. I want to have events. We want to give programs and tours. But there are some things going on. One of the things, you're going to see some workmen at the Maury Irvine Mansion this spring. They will be installing protective storm windows over the stained glass. So no storms allowed until that occurs. So we're pretty excited about that effort. The other thing that's been happening is after the tornado, the Conservation Center in Chicago, which is also currently taking care of the Fisher Governor Foundation collection of Impressionist paintings, took all of our tornado-affected material out of the Sauer House and primarily the museum. And finally, all of that is home. It's in safe storage. And as we are starting talks about building a new museum where we'll have some place to display these things, they've all been treated and professionally cleaned and cared for, and we're really excited about it. Although I don't have anywhere to put this country school curtain. If anybody was at that program or happened to see that in the museum, it's quite large. If you have a 17-foot climate-controlled storage space, I would love to know about it. Give me a call. Other things that are happening, the State Historical Society of Iowa has found an intern for us that is going to be working on interpretive panels and some other projects for the Matthew Ito Blacksmith Shop. So I'm just starting to work with Autumn Polly, who is a student at Iowa State University, and we will have more to report about that hopefully soon. The Blacksmith Shop will be open as far as we know, for its regular season between Memorial Day and Labor Day this summer. So take your mask to Haverhill in May. Until next time, stay warm.